Becca, this is Jenna Lauren. I was hired by Trisha for an evening position in your Key Center store. And Destiny completely lied to me and tricked me. And then you guys didn't seem to back your, new employees at all. There doesn't seem to be any, any decency there. So I would like to speak to somebody in charge because, yeah, this how did she lie to me? Okay, well, when I went in after I went to the interview at Colville, I stopped in directly to speak with Destiny, and I says, Walmart offered me a position. It's a buck an hour more, but I've already taken the job with you guys, and I will not let you down. I won't do that to you. If by chance I decide to take the Walmart one, I would give you the 2 weeks notice, or I'll work both jobs until you find someone. She's like, oh no, no, no. I completely understand. She says, you got to go take that better opportunity. It took me over a year to get a raise with Subway. It's really hard to get anywhere, and there's no promotions, there's nowhere to go. You need to take that job with Walmart. I totally get it, and you're such a wonderful person. You remind me of my mom. My mom and dad got divorced too, and when I heard your story, it just hit me right in my heart like my mom. And you're going to be okay. Everything's going to be okay for you. And I'm like, "Oh my gosh, you are so sweet." And she's like, if it doesn't work out, you come right back here. And I'm like, okay. So I go to the orientation, and Walmart completely. They were supposed to be hiring me as an overnight graveyard on an overnight graveyard shift. I very clearly put on your guys' resume or the application and on their application that I am not available from 6 a.m. to noon. I put it on both of you. You guys are the only ones I applied for, Walmart and Subway. That's it. And, it's like I was telling Trish my story, it's like I just left a 30-year marriage where I was very abused. My husband sheltered me. I didn't have a car. I wasn't allowed to have a phone, a job. I didn't even have running water for 7 years, and I was out in the woods. And I finally got brave enough to escape him. I had to get protection orders and everything. I just left him in May. I'm trying to get back up on my feet. Literally, I had just gotten brave enough to apply for the job 1 week. In 1 week, I applied for a job with Walmart and Subway. You both call me the same week. I tell both of you guys I'm not a morning person. I ain't been up that early in 25 years. And I get job with both people in the same week. I go to 3 orientations in the same week. I'm up at 8 a.m. in the morning. You know, I'm trying to please everybody. I tried to do the best thing I could, be as honest as possible, and Destiny completely tricked me. I would never have went to Walmart under those circumstances if I'd known it was gonna, cause me to not be able to come back to Subway. And on top of that, when I get to Walmart, the very first day I'm sitting in there in orientation, and I just made a comment to one of the other trainees because this is another thing. They did not tell me they were only trying to fill their holiday roster. They completely tricked me, told me it was going to be overnight cashier, nothing about holidays. So I come in, sitting there during the first orientation. I talked to one of the other trainees because there's like 13 people they had in there for the orientation. And I make a comment like, oh, I just gave up, I might be giving up a job at Subway to come here, and this better be worth it. I made that comment while I'm sitting at the table, and the person who hired me comes out of the office, and she's like, "Oh, you got problem? Is there problem here?" And I'm like, no, I'm just saying I already got hired at Subway, and I'm just saying that this better be worth it. It better be a better opportunity." And so she turns around and goes back in the office, and it's one thing after another. They told me for the orientation I needed two shirts, and all they said was blue, white, or black. So I go spend my last $60. I'm on SSI. I spend my last $60 to get two shirts to go to this orientation. Then while I'm sitting there, like, she's like, "Oh no, it needs to have a collar." I'm like, "Well, I don't have any more money. I just spent the last of my money on these shirts." So I'll get you a shirt. So I come back a couple hours later to get the shirt, and she takes me out to these boxes that they had, And she's, what size you need? I says, well, large, extra, extra large. Oh, you're so huge. I'm like, what? I'm trying to lose weight. I'm really sorry, but that's the size I wear. Oh, it's so huge. And she starts pulling these shirts out. She gets an extra large. She opens it up. Wow, you're huge. This is like a tent. I'm like, oh my God, I'm really sorry. I'm trying to lose weight. I mean, she just kept calling me huge. So I get the shirt. Then the next day I come back to orientation. They're completely like ignoring me. I go out on the floor. No hamburger, no meat. Customers asking me, where's the stuff? Where's this? I'm trying to get help. They're telling me, well, just tell the customer we're out to lunch. We won't be back for an hour. Customers didn't like that. I mean, I'm being screamed at, yelled at. Then by the time I get to get my schedule, she's like, "Oh, you 8 to 4." I'm like, 8 at night, and she's like, "No, 8 in the morning till 4." I said, "No, I very clearly said I don't work days. You hired me for an overnight cashier." "No, I didn't. I hired you for days." I said, "No, you didn't," because she even had the overnight manager conduct the second half of the interview. So she's completely lying, and there's no way she's going to get away with this. So I took my vest off, put it on the table, and walked out the door. I went straight into Destiny, and this was Thursday afternoon. I said, "Hey, Destiny," I says, "Man, I'm so glad that you gave me that option because I'm telling you what, it's not going to work out at Walmart." I said, "Do you still have me on the schedule for tomorrow? I will be here at 11 a.m." "Oh, I'm so sorry. Trish just hired two other people. But I'll talk to her. Maybe you could get on one of the other stores, and then as soon as I have a spot, you could come back." And the thing is, the day before, she said it right in front of that young man, the one who I said was putting food back in your containers, taking it off sandwiches and putting it back in the containers while I was standing there waiting to talk to Destiny. Yeah, that young man, he heard the whole thing. He heard Destiny say, "If it doesn't work out, come right back." He heard her say, "No problem, go for the better opportunity." My whole life, like my mom said, I know your work ethic, Jenny. I know that there's just no way you would try. So I know you'd try so hard. And yeah, I did. I busted my butt that whole week, and I trying to please everybody, trying to do the right thing. And this is what I get. I mean, I don't understand why Destiny would do that. Why would she sit there and tell me, "Oh, my mom and dad got divorced, and when I heard your story, it just touched my heart. You're just so much like my mom." What? This is a person's life you're playing with. I mean, I have nothing. I just left my husband. I don't even have a coat to wear for the winter. I don't even have nothing. Nothing. I was planning on maybe this year I could actually have a Christmas. I could get myself a coat. I could maybe get my teeth fixed. I could, do some things and be independent for the first time in my entire life. You know, I had plans. I worked really hard and I tried to be honest. I should have never told Destiny anything. My best interest would have been to just only care about myself, just go to those orientations, and hey, if it worked out, too bad, Subway. And if it didn't, I could have just went to work Friday and nobody would have been the wiser. But I tried to be honest. And this is what I get. 253-514-5190. Well, I'd like to speak with the regional manager or the owner because this is not right. I mean, I have to be honest with you. I'm filming this right now for my channel. Like I told you, I run a YouTube channel. It's getting very popular. I'm writing 4 books called Damaged Goods. I'm a surviving victim of the Green River Killer. And I'm pretty well known among the Seattle Times, everybody, all the news stations. I've been on every channel. And, my YouTube channel is really taking off. So, my next video is going to be what you guys did to me. And I'm going to call an attorney. So, I'm on hold right now. She said just a minute. This is just not right. I'm going to give him a chance to fix it. But this is not right. I did everything I could to be honest and do the best I could. Not to mention, I've been an employee of Subway before. They wouldn't even have had to train me. Considering the type of youngins I've seen there working, putting food back in their trays, hair flopping all over everywhere. Yeah, they could use a decent employee. Yes, whom am I speaking with? Tara. And your position? Regional manager and HR. Okay, so I don't know if she's told you, or do I need to go through the whole story again? Jenna, Lauren. So, well, I was treated very unfairly. Um, I was hired by Trisha, and Trish, whom played herself off as to be like me and understand me, telling me about her husband and how beautiful he is, but has PTSD, and I mean just really acting like she's gonna be my new best friend and everything else. And then I go and I take the talk to Destiny, because that's where I actually really wanted, was to be in Key Center, because it's only a mile cheap from my house. And so I get hired on with Destiny, and I right when I left the orientation, the only two places that I applied for was Walmart and Subway. Like I just told the last gal, and I told Trish, one of the reasons why she pretended to bond with me, I guess. I had just left an abusive marriage. 30 years I was with the man. We lived way out in the mountains up by the Canadian border, and he had sheltered me for years. I didn't have running water for over 7 years. I didn't have a car. I didn't have a phone. This is being recorded for YouTube, Tara. You might want to try and be decent, because my next phone call will be to an attorney. Okay, Tara does not want to hear my story. She's being very rude, confrontational, and I'm going to ask to speak with her supervisor at this moment. We'll see where that goes. I would like to speak with your supervisor, Tara. Okay, Tara doesn't want to do anything about this. So our next phone call will be to an attorney, and we will be posting this video. It will be called Subway Loves Child Molesters. So all you need to do is put it in. You're not trying to help. You're being very confrontational. Because I got let go for no reason. Because Destiny tricked me and lied to me. I was hired to work for you. I was supposed to start Friday at 11 a.m. in Key Center. Huh? Because Destiny lied to me and tricked me and told me you guys hired two other people. Because she told me, yes, I was hired. And right after orientation, I'm really trying to get my story out here. But this woman won't even let me talk long enough to even complete a sentence. Wow. Can I actually speak? As I was trying to say, I left the orientation right when I left orientation up there. I believe it was Monday morning. I got a call from Walmart. They said that they were going to give me $10 an hour, and I would get the overnight cashier position full time. So I went straight in and stopped and talked to Destiny and told her about it. I says, I just got a call from Walmart, but I've already been hired. I'm starting here at 11 Monday. I says, I'm not going to do that to you guys. I really like Subway, and you've already given me the job. I says, I will tell Walmart I can't start for 2 weeks, or I will work both jobs until you can find someone or whatever. And she's like, oh no, you got to take that job, that's a way better opportunity. You can't get ahead at Subway. It took me over a year to even get a raise with Subway, so you need to take that opportunity, it's way better. And I totally understand. And when I heard your story, it really touched my heart, because my mom and dad got divorced, and it was so hard for my mom to get on her feet. So I completely understand your story, and you're such a sweet person. And I just think you're a sweetheart. And if it doesn't work out, you come right back here. I'm like, oh my God, you are so sweet. That's so nice. And she's like, do you need a hug? And she gave me a big old hug. And the other worker was standing right there. The young man was standing right there, witnessed the whole thing. I'm like, oh my gosh, you're just so sweet. It's so nice of you. And so I went ahead and went to the orientations at Walmart, and they completely lied. All they wanted to do was get people in for their holiday roster, which they never told me it was just going to be temporary or holiday. And on top of that, after 2 days of orientation, she goes to give me my schedule, and it's for mornings. And I'm like, no, I very clearly put on my application with Subway and with you guys, I'm not available from 6 a.m. until noon. I take care of a senior citizen. I don't work in the mornings. I very clearly put that. And plus, the boss called me fat. Huge, actually, is what she called me several times. So, I took my vest off and I walked out the door and I went straight to Subway. This was the very next day. And I says to Destiny, this was Thursday. Um, yeah, so it was 2 days later. I says, it didn't work out there. They called me fat and then they put me on for days and blah, blah, blah. I says, did you put anybody on schedule? Am I still on schedule for tomorrow at 11 a.m.? And she said, yeah, you are. But I'm so sorry because Trish went and hired two other people. But you're just so wonderful. I really wanted you. So I'll talk to Trish. And if there's a place at another one that you can be until I have another opening, and she did that in the store in front of all the workers. So both times she flat out lied to me. I would not have even went to orientation at Walmart if I knew it was going to upset anyone with Subway. I had already accepted the job. I don't do that. I go out of my way to have integrity, to be honest. My work ethic is top of the line. Nobody beats me. Maybe that's why she was scared I'd take her job, because I probably would have. Because she doesn't do it very good. That hair flipping all over the place, that's a big no, no, no. I mean, the way she turns around and spins and that 3 feet of hair is just flopping all over the place. And then the young man, while I'm sitting there waiting for Destiny to finish up with her drive-through, I'm sitting there watching him make a sandwich, and the customer's like, "Oh no, no, I didn't want that on there." So he goes and takes the the vegetables off the sandwich and puts them right back in the container, and I'm just standing there going, that's a no-no. I've worked for Subway before, so I would have taken her job very quickly, especially since Trish went out of her way to say seniority doesn't mean anything. Anyway, I want my job back, or I want some type of severance put in there, or I will be posting this video. Yeah, I was hired. Subway loves child molesters. Because, Trish does talk about being with the young guy. I wonder if she's a child molester, too. Child molester. Okay, well, Tara, you are completely responsible for when I file. Ooh, bitch hung up. Subway loves child molesters. Yeah, Becca, Tara was a rude. This is being taped for YouTube. Tara was very rude and confrontational, and I will be contacting a lawyer to sue Subway. And this video will be posted of this entire conversation. The video will be called. All you have to do is put in the search bar the name of my channel, because I'm writing a book. Several books. I'm a victim of the Green River Killer, and my channel is called Damaged Goods. So put that in the search line. And then Subway loves child molesters. That will be the title of the video. And I will be contacting an attorney. And I'm going to make sure that Tara is the number one name used. Tell her to have a nice day. Be sure and watch my video. Ha! Dumb bitch. Alrighty then. So I guess we'll be posting this. Like I said, I busted my ass for these people. I have been abused, sheltered, not allowed to work by my husband. I've owned a gas station. I've worked for Subway. I've worked for UPS. I've worked for attorneys. I have a very good work history and work ethic. In fact, every boss I've ever had in my entire life will tell you I'm the best worker they've ever had. I've never ever been fired other than for just not showing up for work when I was young and a party girl. I mean, I've even when I worked at 7-Eleven, I took another gal's job as assistant manager like right away. That kind of tied into why my son was taken from me by the state of Washington. Not only did he tell his teacher that I smoked marijuana, but in the state of Washington, if there's 3 phone calls made to CPS, I found this out afterwards after they took my kid, but I guess in the state of Washington at that time, if there are 3 complaints made to CPS about you, they can literally come take your child away with no notice, no nothing. That was a law in this state at the time. I didn't know it. And this chick that I'd taken her position at 7-Eleven, and the boss, the owner of the 7-Eleven, just like fell in love with me, and we were like best friends. She was loaning me her curling iron and all kinds of shit. And this chick was super jealous, so she had turned me into CPS and made up some stupid story. I didn't even know that. So then my kid goes and, plus the fact that when my kid was, doing bad shit, running out of, sneaking out of his window and going to the neighbors, and the neighbors wouldn't tell me that he was there, and, all this other stupid crap. And I told him I was going to spank him, and I called CPS, and I says, I called CPS, and they told me that spanking is still legal. And if you don't straighten up, I'm going to give you a spanking. Because that's when all that timeout shit started coming out. And so I says, you know what? If you don't believe me, here's the phone number. Dumbest move I ever fucking made. Dumbest move I ever fucking made. First phone call by the chick at 7-Eleven. Second phone call, I made my fucking self. Third phone call, yay, my kid. Yeah, in the school when he told them that I smoked pot. That's all it took. The state came and took my kid. Anyway, so yeah, my work ethic. I'm very good at my work. I do the best job of anybody. I'm always top of the line. And the only time I've ever lost a job in my life was because I just didn't go to work because I had a hangover, not because of my work ethic or my how I did my job ever. I was always the best, no matter what. Best bartender you ever fucking saw. You come into a bar I worked in. I mean, these little chicks these days, it just blows me away. I don't like bars because I don't drink very often. But once in a while, my mom will take me out someplace because she likes to try different ones and their food. And I swear, I'll walk into the place. It's so hard for me because they'll have 3 or 4 different bartenders running around, and they can't even keep up, and they don't even acknowledge you when you walk in the door, and they don't even have to take care of ashtrays. My God, when you walked in a bar I worked in, I usually would have to be like the only one on shift, unless we had a live band. Then we'd have more than one bartender. Otherwise, no, we had to do it all ourselves. We worked 10 times harder than these stupid little chickadees these days. And we had cigarettes. They smoked in the bar. You walked in my bar, I acknowledged you immediately. Hello, hi, how are you? I'll be right with you. Something along those lines. So they felt acknowledged. So they knew I knew they were there immediately. There if when they smoked cigarettes, there was never, ever, ever more than 2 butts in an ashtray before I come along and empty that sucker and had it cleaned. Tables cleaned, everything done, right on top of shit. That's how I do my jobs. No, the only time I ever lost a job in my life, back when I was in my early 20s, when I started first going out with my ex-husband, and we were into coke and other shit, and A couple times after the bar, we would go to after hours parties and be snorting bucket coke all goddamn night. And yeah, I'd have a major hangover. I mean, like when I worked at Wilderness Tavern, I'll never forget that fucking Rex. Wilderness Tavern in Maple Valley was a hopping place for years. It closed down in the late 80s. But I mean, in the 70s and early 80s, that place was the place to be in Maple Valley. And Rex and Arlita owned the place, and I just loved to fuck with them all the time. In fact, they gave me the job right when I turned 21 because Vicky, who worked there, these will be other stories later on, but Vicky was this whore that I hung out with. Child molesting horror. Her and her old man were molested. She was like 15 years older than me, and yeah, when I was like 13, 12, they were all, yeah, when I got out of juvenile hall and had to stay there, they were diddling me and everybody else. But anyway, I thought they were friends. She got me a job at the Wilderness Tavern right when I turned 21. And I was fucking with her when I turned 22. I had my 22nd birthday there. And I just started dating Bill. I go ahead, I'm sitting there having my birthday beer, and we are having a big old party in the tavern for me. And I look over at Arlita, and I'm like, well, Arlita, it's awesome. I just turned 21. That poor old woman, I swear I almost gave her a heart attack. She was just a short little, tiny, little white-haired old woman, and she'd come in and drink her little schooners of beers with her old man every night, and she's the boss and everything, and just, I swear, the look on that woman's face, she almost fell off her bar stool. You better be kidding me! I just started laughing, because I'd already been working there for over 8 months, I was like, oh, oops, sorry, I was just kidding, whatever. But anyway, the night that went to an after hours, freaking Rex. Last night I worked there at Wilderness Tavern. He knew I was going partying afterwards too. Last thing he said to me is, "You better be at work tomorrow." I'm like, "Oh, I will be." Sure shit. We went and freaking. That's when we were freebasing and shit. And freaking basing up coke all goddamn night. No, sure shit. I didn't go to work the next day. But anyway, that's the worst thing I ever freaking did, and that was like when I was in my early 20s. But when I was there at work, I was the best all the time. Subway would have been lucky to get me. Lucky to get me. And as far as the child molesters, the bullshit with Jared, like I said, this Trish that hired me, she's a creepy freaking one of those fake ass phony creepy women. Oh, I'm so great. I'm on the Trish train. Trish is just wonderful. I've just reinvented myself, and this is the Trish train, and it's just like blasting through, and just like all about herself and how great she is and this, that, and the other. And then talking about her husband and how, she never really mentions his age, but she keeps calling him beautiful. Keeps saying how he just has PTSD and he just stays at home and she supports him and this, that, and the other. But he's just so damn beautiful, And the way she keeps saying it, it's almost, I'm thinking in my head, what is he, a little boy? He's just a little boy with PTSD because what? His mommy molested him and now you're molesting him? And he's got PTSD and he just stays at home and he's beautiful so you can come home and molest him? That's the impression I got by this woman. I mean, she's so creepy and freaking pathetically plastic and the stupid, oh, I'm Trish, I'm so great, I'm so wonderful, everybody should be like me, blah, 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 blah. Like, wow, lady, are you fucking kidding me? Because guess what? It reminds me of somebody that used to work for. Oh, that's right. You mentioned him in the orientation. What was that you said? How Jared hadn't done Subway any favors. Isn't that what you said during orientation? I was laughing when I heard you say that. Because, like, I was kind of spacing out at the time, looking down at my phone, doing something. And then I heard you go, well, Jared didn't do us any favors. And I almost came out and said, well, Jared's promoting a different kind of footlong now, isn't he? Yeah, he certainly is. And you're promoting some type of footlong that's hidden away in your home that's just beautiful, as you put it. Is it a man or is it a child? Because nobody really describes men that way. I mean, if you were diddling a real man, wouldn't you call him a man? when you talk about him like he's a real man, not some little boy that's just beautiful. He's just beautiful. And you even do your little shaking of your head like that too. He's so beautiful. Isn't that how you did it, Trish? You're disgusting. And so are you, Destiny. To lie like you did was horrible. You're messing with people's lives. I was trying to get on my feet. I was trying to be honest. I was trying to do the right thing. The only thing that you got right, little girl, is that I would have took your job because you ain't very good at it. Subway sucks, and Subway loves child molesters.